Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Little Ferry. As you know, a few months ago, our community faced disaster as a superstorm swept through our streets. Since that time, we have all worked together to comfort victims, restore, and rebuild. We are a small town with big heart, and the men and women of our emergency services worked around the clock to make sure that heart kept beating. You see, Sandy may have flooded our streets, but she did not dampen our resilient spirit. Today, we are here at the Hose Company, one of the two firehouses in Little Ferry that experienced major damage due to the storm. Despite what was happening here and in their own homes, our brave firefighters did not stop helping the people of Little Ferry withstand the storm. Now it is my great honor to welcome to the Hose Company an extraordinary leader. Governor Christie, you have been a champion for the victims of Sandy. Your strong voice demanding quick federal assistance reverberated around this nation. It ensured we received the help we needed to rebuild our homes and our towns. Immediately after the storm, you promised me all the resources of the state government, and you kept your promise. You have worked across party lines with our president, our congressional delegation, and our legislature and county executive to get things done. You have shown the world what it means to be Jersey strong. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the great honor to introduce and welcome back a true friend to Little Ferry, Governor Chris Christie.
Good morning. Mayor, thanks so much for inviting me back, and thanks for the leadership that you provided here in this town. Sandy brought out the best in all of us in this state, I believe, especially our firefighters. During and after the storm, I personally saw local firefighters whose homes were Sandy damaged put the needs of their communities ahead of their own needs. They were out here helping their fellow citizens and not worrying about taking care of what was going on back for them at home. A significant number of them continue to need assistance with things like gutting and rebuilding their homes. And I want to let these firefighters in need know that their fellow peers and the New Jersey Division of Fire Safety stand ready to help through the Firefighter to Firefighter Assistance Program, which is what we're here to announce today. The program was established by the DCA Division of Fire Safety in the aftermath of the storm under the leadership of Commissioner Constable, who will speak to you all in a moment. It anonymously matches firefighters who need help with other firefighters who are donating their time and investing their treasure in their colleagues. This volunteer assistance initiative provides a broad range of recovery and rebuilding options, including demolition, shoveling, plumbing, electrical work, roofing, waterproofing, carpentry, one firefighter to another, purely on a volunteer basis. On the division's website, there are two forms, one to seek assistance and one to volunteer assistance. Firefighters can access the forms by going to DCA's homepage at nj.gov/DCA. It's nj.gov/DCA. Clicking on the Superstorm Sandy resources and complete the form to enter the program, either as a volunteer or as someone who needs some volunteer help. The Division of Fire Safety will take it from there. They'll take the request, find a participating firefighter or firefighters who have the needed skill and experience to do the work. Once a match is found, the division will facilitate the initial contact and then allow the firefighters to work out the necessary arrangements amongst themselves. And, you know, the goal is to help firefighters who, as we said before, put their own needs behind the needs of others in the immediate aftermath. And we know that folks who are first responders understand the idea of volunteerism and have always stood up in their communities for volunteers, not just in the volunteer fire, EMT services, but also as Little League coaches and soccer coaches and folks who volunteer at their local church or synagogue. These are folks who are always volunteering their time. It's in their DNA, and we want to help use that to make sure other firefighters get help as well. To date, the Division of Fire Safety has been able to satisfy all requests from firefighters in towns that have been made already in places like here in Little Ferry, Seabright, Union Beach, Seaside Park, Brick, and Manahawkin, with services ranging from gutting to general cleanup and rebuilding to even the replacement of some rebuilding of some children's items that were destroyed. We know that the more we get the word out, the more firefighters will register and step up to volunteer, and it's going to make the program even better than it is already today. Likewise, New Jersey's recovery and rebuilding continues. As we discussed yesterday, we made progress with the federal government's approval of the first phase of community development block grant funding for New Jersey, $1.8 billion, more than New York City, more than New York State, and we're proud of that. We put together a solid program, which is now being reviewed. Had a great conversation with the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development yesterday, and I believe by the end of March or the first week of April, we'll be ready to start giving grants out predominantly in two programs, which will dominate that first $1.8 billion. First program will be a homeowner assistance program, and that will be grants to homeowners, if approved by HUD, to be able to help you with the cost of your rebuilding. Not loans, but grants. And not only if you need to have your house rebuilt, but if you need to have your house elevated. These monies can be used for that as well, in addition to other FEMA dollars that are available for that. The second part of the program will be a small business grant program for all the small businesses who were damaged and who need money to buy inventory, to help repair their places of business, to get themselves back up and running and get their employees back to work. This will be a grant program as well that will be administered through the Economic Development Authority. The homeowner program will be administered through Commissioner Constable at DCA. And we're hopeful by the last week of March, first week of April, we'll be in a position to begin to distribute those dollars to folks across New Jersey. And there's more to come because, as you know, the entire package of aid for New York and New Jersey, and some that's going to Connecticut, a small amount, is $50 billion. And so we're going to be working very hard with the federal government and with Congressman Pascrell's help to make sure this gets done and gets done the right way and as quickly as possible. So these programs still need to be approved by HUD, but we've had some very encouraging conversations that lead me to believe that that could happen in the very near future. And we're moving aggressively to get these relief dollars to homeowners and businesses as quickly as we possibly can. So to all the firefighters who stood up and helped us during the aftermath of the storm, I want to say thank you again. Your service to your communities, once again, has been exemplary and extraordinary. And we now know that there's many of you whose lives are back to normal who might want to help a fellow firefighter whose life has not yet gotten back to normal. That's the spirit of their service, and that's the spirit of this state in the aftermath of this storm. And so we're here to facilitate that and to encourage it. And I thought there was no place better than Little Ferry to come and to talk about this program and to try to make sure that it gets expanded and it's growing all across the state.